The following is an interview with Mr. Fred Caughell. The interview took place at his home at 19 Talbot Street East, Aylmer. The interviewer was Nancy Johnston, and the tape was made possible through Seed Grant 1986. I wanted to ask you about your family history, when your family came to Aylmer, if you know about that. Go way back.
My God, I don't know. Come over to Mayflower, I guess. I don't know when they come. My dad was born in Albert County. I was down here, I got school down with Andrew School, he was down. I don't know from section to Eastern only. Went to school down there. And he was a druggist when he was 21. And he bought this building on that in the same year, I'm not sure.
This one?
That'd be 1896.
You're not sure, though. You bought the
Well,
building out the year.
86 or 87.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a druggist in 86.
Was young to be a druggist, eh?
Yeah, well, at that time he only had 1 year of college to be a druggist.
And you had apprentice somewhere?
Well, he had several apprentices. I mean, but my cousin, first cousin was dad, but I think that was Roy Morris. Worked with Dad for years, from the West.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his own store across the street.
So he was your dad's competition?
Well, my dad had a nervous breakdown in, let me see now, 1930 maybe. He wasn't active for 10 years or so, but he was still a druggist. And after he passed away in 1956, the pharmacy allowed you 4 years to hire a pharmacist, another pharmacist. And I mean, we had trouble getting the druggist anyway to fill in, like John Ball filled in over there, you know. It was, then we changed in a patent medicine store and book supplies, maybe he bought a book from us, I don't know, down at school, and we used to line up down to the break in Montreal corner there to get in the store, I'd lock the doors. That's when I had to buy the big textbooks and all that stuff.
So kids would buy the textbooks through your store?
Yeah, that happened,
You were the only store selling paper? And
No, the other stores were selling loose leaf books, paper and so forth, but we're the only store that had textbooks. That's high
They had
school.
Jewcasters,
We started out with even public school had to buy the textbooks at one time. They kept taking them off and buying them and buying them on the taxes.
so how big was the store at that time?
We enlarged it in, I don't know what year it was. Maybe 19, let me see. We sold the business in 1st of June, 1976, so I made the owner of the store, not a family owner of the store, 80 years exactly. Well, we were right next door where the barber shop is. We had well, the first jeweler in there was way back ages ago, Walker. And Bowden McConnell and Frank Johnson and Diesel. And after we quit selling textbooks and so forth, I needed more room for greeting cards. So we cut the back off and asked Diesel to move. And then it was a barber shop. Marvel Bartlett was there quite a few, 10 years ago, you know. Clay Grabber or something like that down there. But, what else do you want to know?
That's a book over there and everything.
Were you the only one who worked in the store, or
Oh, no.
the only son?
No, my brother worked there. He was there. Oh, he was there about. I went there in March after I got out of the Army. March 1946. And Bruce Patty was there then. He was another one of the relatives. He only stayed about 2 months, and he bought out Richard's drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
And Hills bought it from him. I mean, he was only there about a year, I think. And Hills bought it from him. He moved down to Niagara Falls or something. But, I don't know.
About how many people were working in the store at that time?
At school meantime or just ordinary?
Ordinary time.
Average on Jack. 6.
Mm-hmm.
Six and 7. We had extra ones we call in. And schoolmen there we had over maybe 10, 12. And 2 cash registers going. It was a wild place at school. We could see them coming down from high school and so forth, you know. And said, here they come.
Now, do you remember working in there when you were quite young, when you were a boy?
I'm still a boy.
Did you?
I was there for a short time with Roy Morris when after Dad was sick. But, I was about 21 then. I only stayed there a short time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a chance to go with Bruce Benner out to the Canadian Canada machine shop, bookkeeper out there, bookkeeping stockkeeping, and I stayed there. Oh, until I went from East Ellen to I was there about 7 or 8 years. And I went to the Canadian Army. I was called up in the Canadian Army.
Did you go to high school in
Aylmer? 3.5
Aylmer?
years, I think. Yeah, 3.5 years.
Yeah, did you go to you went to high school at
Yeah.
East Elgin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're Elgin County out there, and I am grandfather was born in Elgin County. I wouldn't say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
George Caughell. I don't know. My brother, he had a big book of local history.
Mm-hmm.
He was a historian like you are, I guess. He went in that stuff. He would find out what nationality. I found out mostly Scottish.
Mm-hmm.
Northern Scotland. I always thought it was 6% Scotch and 30% Irish and 10% Indian.
You leave a lot of percentage out, though.
No, that's 60, 30, and 10. That's 100%.
Okay. Could you tell me a bit about your father when he was working in the store? What kind of man he was, or maybe some stories about him?
Well, not exactly, no. I guess he was. Well, I mean, he was chairman of the PUC for a while. And I had his picture up there, and I gave it to Mrs. Raymond Shepard. I don't have a
She had a
100
picture
years
of him.
next year PUC thing, if you want a picture of him. And, I guess he tried to counsel for a while, you could get along with him. It was only natural. I don't know. I mean,
Was he a social figure in the town? Was the store quite busy with people just socializing?
yeah, you might say so. At the back end had an old pot-belly stove, and they used to back in there and talk and so forth, older fellas. Sit on the pot-belly stove and then chew the wagon. I don't remember too much. Of course, it's 30 years. Let me see. 1930, after the crash, anyway, the big first depression, he lost quite a lot of money. And he tried different things to work out. He bought a fishery down at Fort Bruce. He lost money on that. And he tried, besides the store I talked about, he tried to, you can see this coming, maybe, he tried selling cars. Someone who sell cars, like that didn't go through. And he tried to get an organization of druggists to stick together on the prices. The prices are dropping everything and so forth. And that didn't last very long, both his money. Going to travel all over the country to try to organize the druggists. But nothing ever happened. So I don't really know. That's about all I know about him. He's well liked apparently. They always called him the boss.
The boss? Yeah. You mean the men in the store or just in general?
Everybody called him the boss. I don't know if because he's boss here now, but they called him the boss anyway.
How did he buy his stock? Were there travels that came in, or did he pick it out in book, for example, the cards that you said that were in the store?
Well, I mean, he'd buy, I don't know. I mean, you're a member of the drug trading company. It's still going. Hill's deal with them. I think drug trading just sells to independent. They don't go for the king stuff. They have a warehouse in London, Toronto, and all over the place. Well, that's where he got his drugs from. And that time I wasn't near pulling out pills and so hold it all. Take a bottle, you know, and a little bit out of this bottle, a little bit out of that bottle, a little bit out of that bottle, and so forth. He had a big prescription book, well, that second of that long. I give most of that stuff to my niece. You want to know all that stuff.
He must have kept quite long hours if he was a pharmacist. Do you remember him being in the store quite a bit?
Oh yeah, well, yes, and he always kept busy. I mean, he played gardening, he liked gardening. See, we bought that house up at Swiss Cottage. Let me see now, that would be, got married in 1900. Oh, 1902, I think he bought that Swiss Cottage. It was straight, and he took the top off and built on the veranda and built on the back.
So what do you mean you took the top off? The top of the porch, or?
No, the top of the house.
The top of the house?
Yeah, you know, we always had an attic.
Yeah.
Like next door neighbor, the one that way. He took it all made a flat roof. And he had on that veranda.
Yeah.
That's limestone. That's all that thick.
About an inch thick or 2 inches thick?
Oh gosh, it must be that thick anyway. I suppose he got that maybe from St. Mary or someplace. That's limestone. I don't remember that, of course.
So what did he add on the porch? Did he add the two rounded parts on the porch?
Had everything.
He made the whole porch.
All that front veranda. He put that on. Had to put on the porch and put that himself.
But the coach house was the original coach house?
The one in the back, the one in the garage, they tore that down, yeah. That was the coach house.
And there was a gazebo, too. That,
yeah, it's
in
still
the garden. Was that your father's building? Or?
Oh, yeah. It was on the side. It's still there. And on this side of the Swiss Cottage.
Do you know when the original building was built? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't know. I might have all built at the same time along there. John Pellman, I guess I don't know him or not. But his aunts were living right next door to Davis. Dan Davis was the clerk of Aylmer for years. I met in that house in Aylmer built about the same. Kilby's around one side, belongs to Natural Resources now. But I don't know, I mean, I have at least idea. When the damn thing was built. I don't know when this building was built either.
I wanted to ask you something about medical history of Aylmer, I thought you might know something about the other pharmacists who would have been in town. You said Roy Morris was a relative.
Yeah, first cousin, but Dad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My second cousin, Roy.
He was supposed to be a bit of a character.
So Roy, quite a talker.
Why does he have that reputation?
I don't know his character now, but he was quite a talker.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Did he tell stories, or?
Oh, he get talking, he couldn't shut up. He just keep rambling on and rambling on and rambling on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was a bad fellow.
Oh no, he was well liked. Well liked.
Mm-hmm. Now he started out as a pharmacist but got more into patent medicine. How did that happen?
Well, I mean, my sister from Toronto, she was doing bookkeeping and so forth from now and then. Still had the house then, and I don't know if he didn't get along, I don't know, but he moved across the street. Had a small store over there, and then where did he get it from?
Is his wife still living on the
I think he bought it, I'm not sure about this, but I think he bought it from George Brandt's father. It's just, was just about the time the Air Force moved in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after, I don't mean wartime Air Force, I mean after World War II. That was, well, it carried on to 1961, I think. The Air Force was done my and put Peace College there. Oh, boy, he lived quite like a league. I don't know his wife's still living there. He lived in the 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm. What about Richards? Now this you'd know them maybe secondhand.
Yeah, Richards, Ray Lemon and Richards.
Now where would their store be?
No, Hills Pharmacy.
At Hills Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I don't know, I think that was there's only two in town. That was, but Dad changed the name of the store. People, I asked him why he did it once. Chicago's kind of a hard name to pronounce, so he called it the White Drug Store, White Drug and Bookstore. That's what it is, book supplies and drugs and so forth. Well, we had a picture of, I haven't got it now, I think Dick Campbell's got it down there someplace. Taken, years ago, Roy Morris behind the counter, I think it's Roy Morris, sitting on the stool. We thought it was pretty sure Dr. Sinclair's grandfather.
Cole Sinclair?
Yeah. Sitting on the stool, they all had a stool and he's sitting there. That's what everybody thought, when we showed it to different people, they thought it was him. Maybe not, I don't know, but Roy Morris died then. Well, Roy looked after the store pretty well. I had a cottage down for Bruce and Dad down, garden down there, and a big garden up here. But those hours, I mean, they stayed open Saturday nights until midnight. The other nights they were closed.
When they stayed open till midnight, would they be working straight or would it be sort of a social time?
I don't know. What a trick. Still, between 11 and 12 o'clock. I mean, I don't exactly know what you mean by social time.
Well, did the streets were quite busy or people were
Well,
shopping?
I imagine so, because they wouldn't stay open.
Mm-hmm.
I know I tried to stay overnight, and I took it over, and I kept track. And after years of study on the thing, maybe 3 years, I found out we weren't making enough money to make a pay. That's where we closed it. Some nights, it wouldn't pay enough. Some nights you only taking 4 and 5, 6 hours, right? And you pay their hybrid. Well, what, those days we wouldn't know.
So when did you start having shorter hours?
Oh, God, I don't know. Me? I don't know.
There was a woman down the
The
street
end of 1950, you know.
said that it was because of the Maple Leaf games on radio and television that the hours were shorter.
No, might have been, but I don't know. I mean, they put in different, you know, the government jumped in and all that stuff, you know, minimum wage and all that and so forth. But I mean, it's only natural. If you don't make money by doing a certain thing, you don't do it.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the reason I go there, and we used to sell dead sold wallpaper there for years.
Wallpaper?
Oh yeah. Wallpaper was there. And times started to change, so I checked on that, and maybe you have a sale every year to get rid of the old stuff. Everybody's smart enough to buy it in, so half price. And I checked through my books, and it wasn't worth it. Spent an hour back there showing some customers wallpaper and having them walk out, or on a rainy, we had a nice comfortable chair. In fact, there's one there with Jeanne sitting on the floor and sitting there. They come in, and they reach from over the wallpaper and turn around and look at it, and we're all talking. It was raining now, it was a good place to sit. But I checked on that, and then I threw out the wallpaper. Everybody at that time was painting. I started painting the walls. So I didn't pay them.
What about some of the doctors in town? You might know them by reputation. A Dr. Cahoon?
Who?
Dr. Cahoon? That would have been
Oh yeah,
maybe
that's not too long ago.
30s or 40s.
Oh yeah. He had an office down there, where you know the part loaders? Chiropractor? House this side. He had an office in there. And he built those apartments over on the Water Street. He built those. He died very young. That's what the moon.
What about, now this you might know just from your father, the female doctor in town, Dr. Annie Backus or Backhouse. She would have lived down Park Street in Talbot on the stage there. Her husband was a lawyer.
Backus. Female doctor?
No, I don't remember that.
I remember the Backus. What's the Backus? Or even Backus? Backhouse.
Backus.
Said George Backus. I remember him. He was private. Someplace jet. No, I don't remember that. The only female doctor I know is him down here. Oh, yeah. There wasn't too many. I mean, the old saying at that time used to be what a saying on time, and Miss Tate run the library. Anything that Fred allowed to have a shoe store. Fred trimmed the butcher shop. And Dr. Field was a dentist. Field the dentist, trimmed the butcher, loved the shoe man, hate the librarian. I remember that.
I remember something that was funny. Bill Smith was a little dog. He would go to the hotel, eh?
Bill Smith?
Is it Bill Smith and the dog?
No.
Who had that little dog that was drinking beer? And he was coming in the store and stay on the chair.
Ernest Johnston.
Oh, is it Ernest Johnston? Anyway, he was coming in the store and sleep there. There was a cushion in the chair like that. And he would sleep there and then he would go off. Sleep it off. I thought that was funny.
And that was into your store.
Yeah, he used to, in the winter time, jump to the door, we'd let him open nice and let him in. I locked him in one night and the police told me, no, they left the dog in the store. So he just went and curl up on one of those chairs and go to sleep. Jump up the sink and I give him some water and away you go again.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody kidnapped him. He was quite a dog. He watched the water roll across the street just as he knew the stoplight. He'd stop and wait for the call maybe, I don't know. Quite a dog then.
Do you remember some of your customers who were a bit of a character coming in? Maybe as kids, maybe? Or some regular customer that sticks in your mind?
Not exactly, no. No, I don't think anybody.
Just the dog.
They changed that store so very much ever since they bought the place, Campbell.
We had so many customers, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Most of them were
more
nice.
people knew us, so we knew them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The people bring a filament to the results, I knew them darn well, because they come in by, gosh, 3 or 4 times a week come in to say or something like that. But they never asked me any kind of go and hit them on the shoulder and say, what's your name, you know? You always say hello or so forth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them the film, and I know your first name, what's your last name? Ask her last name, see? Seems kind of funny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you, I never know you anymore now. I thought you were that high. You're down on it.
Mm-hmm.
You born down there? You live in the same place over there, do you? Well, I used to belong to York McConnell.
Used to belong to the house.
York McConnell, that's the one that had a jewelry store down here.
Mm-hmm.
Over in McConnell.
How is your dad doing with those horses? Is he,
He had the Bibles at the front there. There was a shelf full of Bibles. And he used to steal Bibles. Why anybody would steal a Bible? I have no idea. He was kind of queer to me when he was
I bet in the store down
that
there.
was it, because we could tell, because we had the empty box there. And maybe the Bible at that time was $10, you know, with all that fine good paper and gold legends and so forth. Unless they steal it and sell it, I don't know, but try to close the front door and we never miss it until we see the empty box. Caught a young kid once stealing and taking stuff. He had his pockets full, and I saw him put something in his pocket and so forth. I went down to him. I saw some comic books sticking out of his face. I picked them all in. I said, got anything else? He said, yeah, for us. He had me a modest belt.
He had a what?
Modest belt.
A boy.
And I said to him, he says, well, he says, first year in high school, to join the other boys, they had to go and steal a certain amount of stuff. I said, well, I'll call your parents up. We'll go to them and start to cry. I said, well, I should never call the police. And he started to cry. I said, well, I said, that's all right. I said, I don't think you'll do it again. I said, oh, gosh, no. You're going in the first year in high school. I felt sorry for the kid. When I saw that motor dog right away, another fellow came from the store and I had to back her back. I come on. We're back to motor. All days, I mean, there's things right on the shelf, you can pick anything up and call them. He was kind of funny to me. Well, this building, I don't know. God, how will it be, I don't know. The store was in the family for 80 years. About 80 years exactly, pretty soon, I think. 86 and 86. June.
Did you did you celebrate the anniversary? Except for 75?
No, I never went for that stuff. They do with all pictures in the paper and all that stuff and so forth. I didn't went for that stuff. Even when they sold the business, I told them, forget about it. I don't want any in the paper about it. Like Hamilton had the 40th anniversary. I said, we were in business 80 years. What's the matter with you? They had a big celebration, coffee and all that stuff. We didn't do all those days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 40 years was a celebration. They kept themselves there, I guess. I think they were both in the Air Force, I'm not sure. Down in Godfrey.
Yeah, you know that the
Yeah.
hills pretty well?
Down to, oh yeah, but not until they come down, I never know.
Mm-hmm.
But when Harold Bettinger worked for him for a long time, and he got his apprenticeship and so forth in the store. There's quite a few of them down there. I couldn't name them all, I don't know. Dad trained quite a few drivers. And Bush and Tyler too. Harold Bettinger. One more? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a dozen more at least, I'm not sure. There wasn't too many doctors in town at that time. People never went to doctors.
People never went to doctors?
Oh, doctors came to them.
Yeah.
I mean, the hospitals, that was...
Your dad had a nice book written, I don't know if it's your dad who wrote it, about his dear grandfather. And we were selling, he bought it one Christmas in the store, Fred ordered for him. And I think he was giving it as a present to somebody he knows, maybe you or somebody he knows. I thought that was a nice book. It was real nice.
You sold patent medicines in your store, and your father did. And would you say a lot of people sort of did their own medicine without going to a doctor? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sure.
Well, how would they have their own sort of recipe, or would your father make one up, or?
Well, especially books, sometimes they have their own. I know a fellow always had his own for arthritis, and they have their own what's called. I suppose I get it from somebody else, and Dad wrote down a prescription book and then fill it out for their demands and so forth. So there's quite a change in how you go to the doctor and he just gives you a prescription, you don't have to pour the pill out of the bottle, and that's all there is to it. Easy then. I mean now.
So what kind of things would your father have had to do in the store as a pharmacist? It's different than now.
Well, we've done it. You wait on customers and fill prescriptions, but as I said before, the prescriptions weren't in pill form. They're all in different bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all one bottle, another bottle, another bottle. I mean, you get a prescription from a doctor. They wouldn't say so many pills or nothing like that. It would be so much of this and so much of that and so much of this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe half an ounce of that and so forth. I looked through the book a while ago. But I bet Hills have got some of those books, way back.
Do any of the recipes, any of the medicine recipes strike you as sort of strange now? Any that stick in your mind?
No. No, I got them. Following the guy Luke used to get some, I don't know what's in there now. You know, much in the fireplace, a lot of mustard, I know that, and certain things.
You think you could almost make it up on yourself at home? You had mustard in it?
Well, a lot of mustard, no. I mean, used to make little mustard plasters for it.
Mm-hmm.
To rub along with arthritis. A lot of mustard and wintergreen and all that stuff. Yeah, they could, but a lot of mustard's kind of dangerous, you know. I mean, they get in your eyes and blindness. It's that strong.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was down there, some of that old medicine's down in the store yet, like so. Dipped to a little or something, you want the bottle. I think I noticed a small bottle of mustard down there. They should get down there, I guess. But it is dangerous. Kids, you know, these kids are growing up and so you just smell it and it goes up through your eyes and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have to spill it and burn your face, but that's true. Well, I don't know too much about Indian eyes, but as you get older, you forget those things.
Did your father ever suggest to you that you become a pharmacist?
He didn't want either one of us to be a pharmacist.
Why was that?
Too damn much work, I guess.
Uh-huh. You thought the hours were too long? Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't have just a drugstore. They were selling cards, they were selling garden seeds, and they books and everything for business and everything. They were selling different things. It was not strictly drugs. Different things they were selling. Had the Cooch cards for a long time down there. They still have them, I guess. They got away with the Gibson cards, I think, you read.
Yeah, my dad wasn't selling those at that time.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he? Oh.
No, I don't think they didn't have his Mother's Day or Father's Day at that time. I remember.
Do you think those special days came out just for the card sellers?
I think so. That's what I think it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hallmark people, Carlin cards, Gibson. Oh yeah, I imagine so. Try to people about that. Huh?
Did you see that business grow when you were working in the store?
Yes, it went down pretty bad. And they had built up bad and stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
And prices kept getting a little better all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That things were cheap and they kept going up. And well, just before we, I think the first thing I noticed taking jumps about every time I ordered something was paper products.
Mm-hmm.
Like refills for the books in school. Gosh, they dump every time you order, it would be up 10 or 20%.
So would you say that was artificial, or?
Well, I blame the unions for that.
Mm-hmm.
The unions started taking over things way back, and that really sounded over as far as I'm concerned.
What about the magazines and comic books? Were comic books really popular in the 40s and 30s?
Oh yeah, I mean, 40s and 30s,
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't there until 46, but I don't remember how many books there. I don't think my dad had any magazines at that time, so I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.